Alright, so we're starting now. So we're going to start now. We're going to say, right, what is happening here? Now here, this is a new section. So here it's all about roots, surds. Remember, a surd is anything that has a square root, a cube root, any kind of root in it. Also, a surd can be if it has a rational exponent. It has like a fraction as an exponent. So you mustn't be dismayed. We're just going to go over some what you can say, basic rules that will help you in any situation when you see it. So number one says simplify this. So when you see something like this, remember always prime factor. It says simplify without the use of a calculator. So you must always prime factorize. So we know that 8 is 2 to the power of 3, all to the power of 2 over 3. Now what is happening when you multiply the inside with the outside? You are saying this times that over that. So can you see those two things there? This has a denominator of 1, so those two things cancel out. So your answer is going to be 2 to the power of 2, which is just 4. Next, here, when you have 1 with a decimal, always convert it into a fraction. So you can use your calculator. They won't know that you used it or not. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to convert it. So when I convert it, I'm going to say, oh, it's 1 over 4. It's a fourth to the power of 3 over 2. So I'm going to say, okay, 1 over 4, I can say 1 over 2 to the power of 2 all over 3 to the power of 2. Then I can multiply each one out because it has a denominator of 1, multiply that, multiply that. Or I can do another method where I bring the 2 above and it becomes a negative, which is more easier. So this becomes negative 2 to the power 3 over 2. Then that cancels out with that. But I'm left with a negative 1. Let's see, these two things cancel out, but I'm left with a negative 1. So negative 1 times a positive 3 is going to become 2 to the power of negative 3, which is actually 1 over 8. Right. Then they say here roots and surds. Write these number 3 and 4 without a root sign. So remember, a root sign is whenever you have an exponent on the inside of a root and an exponent on the outside of the root. The exponent on the inside is your numerator and the exponent on the outside is your denominator. So I'm going to say A, my numerator is the one on the inside, my denominator is the one on the outside. So 2 over 3 will be my answer. Then for this one here, again, this has a power of 1, and if there's no number outside the root, then you know it's a square root, so it's power of 2 there. So you're going to say x1 over 2. Then you're going to have write this with a root sign. So you're doing the opposite. Now here you're going from here to here. Now this one here wants you to go from there to there. So what you're going to do now, you're going to know the denominator is always your root. So what type of root it is? It's the 5th root. So I'm going to write 5 on the outside. And it's a to the power of 2. Then here it's the 3rd root, which is a cubic root, and you're going to have x to the power of 4. Very simple, hey? Now we're going to see now how can we use this to simplify without the use of a calculator. So we have to take numbers like this and we have to go and do that. So what must we always do? We must always follow the same principles that we've always been using, which is step number 1, prime factorize. So when you prime factorizing, so I'm going to put here now to the power of 4. When you prime factorize 625, you're going to get what you're going to get 5 to the power of 4 over, and the prime factorize 81, you're going to get 3 to the power of 4 all to the power of 3. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to get rid of the root. So when I get rid of the root, remember this is my numerator, that's going to become my denominator. So it's going to become like this: 5 over 4 to the power of 4, 3 to the power of 4. This becomes 3 over 4. Now what must I do? Multiply my exponents on the inside with the exponents on the outside. Those 4 cancels out, so I'm left with 5 to the power of 3. Those 4 cancels out, I'm left with 3 to the power of 3. And if I had to go and use my calculator, which they won't even know, is equal to 125 over 27. And I leave it like this. I can simplify further, but we don't have to. Right, same thing here. Do not despair. Always do board math, so do whatever's on the inside first. If it's a mixed number, make it into an improper fraction. So 3 times 8 is 8, 16, 24, plus the 3 is 27 over 8, x to the power of 12y to the power of negative 6. Now negative 6 basically means it's going to the bottom, so y to the positive 6 will come here, and it's all to the power of 2. So now I need to get rid of my sign, I need to get rid of my root sign, and I need to prime factorize. So my answer is going to be 3 to the power of 3 all over 2 to the power of 3, x to the power of 12, y to the power of 6, all to the power of 2 over 3. Now what must I do? I need to multiply each exponent with each power. So 3 times that, the 3's cancel out, it's 3 to the power of 2. Now this, right, so 12 times 2 is 24. 24 divided by 3 is 24 divided by 3 is 8. So x to the power of 8. 3 cancels out with that, so it's 2 to the power of 2. 6 to the 6 times 2 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So we have y to the power of 4. But my answer is not simplified yet, so I need to simplify it. So I'm going to say 3 to the power of 2 is 9, x to the power of 8. 2 to the power of 2 is 4, y to the power of 4. And that's all you need to know. Now I'm going to give you a few to do, and hopefully you can also get them correct. Are you ready? Alright, so first one, I want you to simplify without the root signs. The root signs must be taken away. Number 2, I want you to put the root signs back. Number 3, I want you to simplify without the use of a calculator. And I realize that maybe you can't see some of the numbers, so let me just try and focus it again. That looks more better. So let me just tell you that certain numbers here, like this one here is x to the power of 8, and this is 256, and that's root 4. That's root 3, and this is minus 3 over 2. This is minus 3 all to the power of 4. This is minus a half. And yeah, I apologize, sometimes it might not look right, but that's what happens. Okay, so I'm giving you, let's see, 10 minutes should be fine for this also, because this is very simple. Number 1 and 2 is very simple. So about 10 minutes. Put your time on for 10 minutes and get ready. Can you do this? Remember, you need to pause the video now and please try the following on your own. You can do it. You must just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and you shall do it. Okay. Alright, let's go back. Let's see what we can do here. So this one here, it says without the root signs, you're going to say a to the power. Remember, inside is going to be my numerator, so it's going to become 6 over 4. But that's not simplified. That means I can simplify it. Further, what goes into 6 and 4? 2 goes into 6. 3 times 2 goes into 2. 2 times, so a is equal to 3 over 2. Right. Then this one here, we're going to do b now. So same thing, x 3 over 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so x to the power of 1. Then here you're going to have a to the power of 5 all over 2. Now if you couldn't, so therefore can I simplify this further? I could, but it become a mixed number, and we don't like mixed numbers as exponents, so we just leave it like that. This one here is x to the power of 1 over 2. Right, remember, if it doesn't have a sign outside the root, then it's a 2. Okay, that's looking much better than before. Sorry. Right, now let's go here. So it says here, do it with the root sign. So it's the 5th root, a to the power of 4. And this one here, it's the square root of x to the power of 1, which is just that. This one here is the square root of x to the power of 3. And this one here is the 6th root of x. Right, that's all you need to do. Then it says simplify without the use of a calculator. Now number 3a, to F. I'm going to do it on a separate page because there's a lot of work to do here. Okay, 3a, I think I can put it here. Let's see. So we're going to first prime factorize. No, let me do it on another page. I don't want to mess this up. Let's go to another page here. So the first one I'm going to do is 3a. So 3a, it's like this. The root of x to the power of 4 all to the right. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to prime factorize. So prime factorize, I'm going to say right, 2 to the power of 3 all to the power of 4. Then I'm going to say 2 to the power of 3, 4 over 3, because that's when I'm taking out the root, and then these 3 cancels out because multiplication is occurring. So my answer will be 2 to the power of 4, and then 2 to the power of 4 can work out 2 to the power of 4, which is actually just 16. That's my answer. Then I'm going to do B here. So B says, right, 0, 125 all to the power of negative 2, and it's a cube root on the outside. So when you have something like this, you need to go and first convert. What we're going to convert, we're going to first convert 0, 125. Now when you convert 0, 125, you change it to a fraction. When you change it to a fraction, you're going to get a fraction of an eighth. So you're going to get 1 over 8 all to the power of negative 2 to the power of 3. So when you get this, you're going to say 1 over 8 to the negative 2 over 3. When you get a negative 2 over 3, that basically means that that's there. So what I can do, I can also change this to a negative. I can say 2 to the power of negative 3 all to the power of negative 2 over 3. So what's going to happen here, those two are going to cancel out, and a negative and negative is going to become a positive, so 2 to the power 2. So my final answer is 4. Then I'm going to do the next one, which was C, and then C is basically 8 to the power of 2, the fourth root, and a. So I need to get rid of the roots, so it's 8 to the power 2 over 4 times 8 to the power 1 over 2. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically simplify this, which is 1 over 2. Right, now remember when you're multiplying, you add the exponent. So a half plus a half is a whole. So my answer is just 8. Then I'm going to do the next one. Alright, and my next one is D, which is 8x to the power of 6 all to the power of 4. So now I'm going to say same thing, prime factorize. When I prime factorize, 2 to the power of 3, x to the power of 6. Then I must get rid of the root. So I'm going to say, right, all to the power. No, I'm going to get rid of the root. So let me get rid of this. So I get rid of the root is going to be 2 to the power of 3 over 2 times x to the power of 6 over 2. Remember, it's a square root, so I'm dividing by 2. And then I want to say all to the power of 4. So I can simplify this one. I think that's fine. This one here I can simplify. So, or I can multiply out. It's the same thing. So I can say 3 times 4 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So I'm going to get 2 to the power of 6 here. Times 6 times 4 is 32. 32 divided by 2 is, what's 32 divided by 2? I don't even know my thing. 16, huh? So x to the power of 16. Sometimes I'm not there, sometimes I'm not, sometimes I'm right side. Na, 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 na. Right, then my final answer, I was just checking my answer, sorry. 64, and this is x to the power of 16. Right, so if I had to do that, 6 times 4, I meant 6 times 4 is not 32. 6 times 4 is 24. So 24 divided by 2 is 12. You see, that's why I was singing. I was trying to remember what the hell I wrote. So my final answer is 64x to the power of 12. Remember, if you can't do it mentally like me, just use a calculator. Say 6 over 2 times 4 on your calculator. and you'll get the right answer. Right. I'm just so lazy to go and find where I left my calculator. Unless one of you stole it, then you did. Right, let's go to the next one. So when I go to E, I'm going to say 8x plus 1 times 2, 1 minus x, all over 2 to the power 4x minus 2. So same thing, prime factorize 2 to the power 3, x plus 1 to the power 1 minus x, all over this becomes 2 to the half, 4x minus 2. So I'm going to do it on this side here. So when that happens, multiply on inside and outside. So 2, 3x times 3 times 1 is 3, times 2, 1 minus x, all over half times 4 is 2 to the power of 2x, half times 2 is minus 1. Right, so when I come to this, now I just add, because it's only multiplication and division happening, I add my multiplication exponents and I subtract my division exponent. So my answer is going to be, alright, so my answer is going to become 2 to the power of 3x plus 3 plus 1 minus x minus open brackets 2x minus 1. Multiply out 2, 3x plus 3 plus 1 minus x minus 2x plus 1. Simplify 3x and those things cancel out. Then you say 3 plus 1 is 4, 4 plus 1 is 5. So my answer is 2 to the power of 5, which is 32. How many of you got it right? I'm sure most of you got this right. Ooh. Now we're going to do F, G, and F, G, and H. I'm so stupid. Look what I wrote here. I wrote F, G, F. This is supposed to be an H. Right. So F, G, and H. Let's do F, G, and H now. So, alright, let's see. F, 27 x to the power of 6 third plus 81 x to the power of 4 minus 256 x to the power of 8 power 4. Now when you come to this now, same type of rule. It says without the use of a calculator, so we can't use the calculator. So we have to prime factorize everything so that we can get rid of it. Okay, so we're going to say here 3 to the power of 3 x to the power of 6 all to the power of 3 plus 81. If I have to do 81, ooh, what is 81? 81 is a tough one, huh? Let me try to think now. Let me do it here because I don't have a fancy calculator. Can 2 go into here? No, 2 can't go into here. Can 3 go into here? Yes, 3 goes into here 27 times. 3 goes into 27. 9 times 3 go into 9. 3 times 3 goes into 3, 1. So 3 to the power of 4 for this one here. 3 to the power of 4, x to the power of 4. And then 256. Oh, I don't know if I got 2. If I can do 256 divided by 2. I wish I had a nice calculator, man. I would save my time. 2 goes into 1 to 8. I'm going to divide it by 2 again. I'm going to get 64. 2 goes into 64. 32 times 2 goes into 32. 16 times 2 goes into 16. Ish, this is the tiresome. 2, okay, 2 goes there 4 times, 2 goes there 2, 2 goes there once, yalla. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me just write 2 to the power of 8 is 256, right there, that's correct. So 2 to the power of 8, x to the power of 8, or root of 4. Now remember, you're dividing, your denominator is your root. So I'm basically saying 3 to the power of 3 over 3, x to the power of 6 over 3, plus 3 to the power of 4 over 2, x to the power of 4 over 2, minus 2 to the power of 8 over 4 times 8 over 4. Here it becomes 3 times x to the power 6 divided by 3 is 2. Here's become 4 divided by 2 is 3 to the power of 2, and then here I'm going to get x to the power of 2 also, and then I'm going to get minus 2 to the power 8 divided by 4 is 2 to the power of 2, and I'm going to x to the power of 8 divided by 4 is also 2. So here I'm going to get 3 to the power of x squared plus 9x squared minus 4x squared, and then when I see like terms, so x to the power of 2, 3 plus 9 minus 4 is 8 x to the power of 2, and that's my final answer. They love to ask this type of question here. I see it in many of the question papers. And then if you go to G, it says here 4 over 9. Right, so 4 over 9 all to the power of negative 3 over 2. So we're going to say 2 to the power of 2, 3 to the power of 2, negative 3 over 2. The 2 cancels out, we're left with 2 to the negative 3. The 2 cancels out, we're left with 3 to the negative 3. So what I do is I swap them around. So when I swap them around, I'm basically going to get 3 to the power 3 on top, and we're going to get 2 to the power 3 at the bottom, which is equal to 27 over 8. Right, if you did another method, you would have still gotten the same answer. Then you got an H, and H is the last one for this part here. Negative 3 to the power 4 all over 64 to the half. So what we're going to do first, we are going to, let me just do it here. We are going to simplify, so the third is going to become 2 to the power of 3, right, divided by 2, because that's the power of 2, 2 to the power negative 3, then 64 is basically, 64 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 to the power of 6 is 64, times a minus half. So here it's going to become 2 to the power of 3 over 2 times 2 to the power of negative 3, and this is 6 times a negative half is a negative 3 also. So what happens to these two negative 3's? Right, what happens to these two negative 3's is, I forgot a step. See what I forgot? I forgot to put this bracket here. Right, so this is to the power of 4, this is to the power of 4. So now my answer here is going to be this. It's going to be multiplied out. So we're going to say 3 times 4 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6, isn't it? Yeah, so 2 to the power of 6. Here is negative 12. Right, all over 2 to the negative 3. So remember, it's only multiplication occurring, so 2 to the power of 6 plus a negative 12 minus a minus 3. So what happens to that minus 3? It becomes a positive 3. So it's basically 9 minus 12, which is minus 3, which is 1 over 8. And that's my answer. So this whole thing here is about roots and surds and how to simplify without the use of a calculator, and this is a very important concept that is needed in grade 12 also, and they love to ask this in every single paper. So let's see what else we have installed now.